Hi guys, in the last lecture we talked about how to use for loop in JavaScript. Now in this lecture we learn about what is while loop and how to use it in JavaScript. While loop is similar as for loop and it's same function as for loop, but here syntax is different. So I go to here and I simply write it. First initialize variable, that is var I is equal to 1. Now instead of we use here var I is equal to 1, we write it in a separate, and I deleted for loop, and instead of this I write here while, and here I write a condition I is less than 10, and after this I have in a function block, and here I write I plus plus. That is same as for loop, but here is syntax is different. We do not all the things in these parentheses. First we initialize our variable. After this we have a condition in while loop, and then after this output we have an increment variable. So if I save it and now reload and go to inspect, and here go to console. So now you see this is second class is print for 9 times, because here we less than 10. If I write here is equal to 10, then it prints 10 times, because now our 10 is also included. So that is the while loop. While loop is more flexible and more convenient instead of for loop, and we are mostly use while loop while we do not have any guess how many times our loop is printed. Means if we do not have any number, any specific number, how many times our loop is printed, we use here while loop. If we have now our specific times, we use for loop. So for this I simple close this, and now I make a program here. I make a programs where a user enter a number from 1 to 6 and we guess what is the number. For this I go to here and I write in paragraph tag, and I write here how many numbers from 1 to 6, or here I write here guess guess my number from 1 to 6. After this, I have a input that a user enter in input. I write here input tag over here, and I write here number. Now this time we enter a number, so I write here number, and ID of this is equal to my number. And after this I have a button, so I write here button, and in button ID here my btn, and in this I write here guess. If I save it and reload, now our basic structure is here our first paragraph, then our input, and here our guess button. So now our HTML is complete. After this I have a JavaScript. So first I write here document dot get element by id, and now I this time I have a input of id number. So my btn, that is button, my btn dot on click, and after this we have run the function. And what function we have run, we have first alert our button is working or not, success, I hear success message, and if I save it, now if I reload and here I click on my guess, yes, our button is now working. So Till this we have a correction programs, and after this now I want the number. Here I want this number value. So I write here my I write here number is equal to, instead of number I write here var my number, that is the variable, and here I write document dot get element by id, and here I id of my number, that is our input, my number, and now I got a value of this, so I write here value, and after this I write a alert function that is very helpful for step by step program checking. So this time I input our my number. When we click on this my btns, now our number is printed in alert. So if I reload it, and here I write 3, and if I click on guess, now our number is here. If I write here 6 and guess, now our 6 is here because our number is printed is here. So that is alert my number. So what in the next? We have a guess number. I write here var var guess number, and I write here 5. Now our guess number is 5. Now we have a condition, and in this time we condition our if statement. I write here if, and I write here if my number is equal to guess number. So what is printing? It prints alert number is correct. Instead of this, we have a else block, and in else block we have alert of number is wrong. So now I save it and now reload, and I write here 3. Guess number is wrong. I write here 6. Guess number is wrong. Now I write here 1. Guess number is wrong. Now I write here 5. And if I guess, now this is number is correct because we have this number, guess number is equal to 5. That is why it prints our guess number is equal to 5, and this alert is number is 5. So that is our basic program. But what if we have a number from a random? That is our main topic for using a while loop. So we talk in this lecture. So instead of this guess number, we have a random numbers. So random numbers are a functions that is used in JavaScript to get a random number. So we talk about now random numbers and use our while loop in this program and enhance this program. Random numbers, any numbers that are from in any number of 1 to 1000 or 100 or 6, any random number that generated by computers. So for this, I use here var guess number. Instead of input our number, we write a function here math dot random. That function used to generate a random number. So if I go to here and I write here alert of guess number, if I save it and reload, click on it. So now this is the guess number of 0.43, and that's also I'll continue if I comment on this so that you see more clearly. So if I click on guess, that is 0.25 guess number, another guess number 0.77, and other, this is a random number that generates any number and have a different from first one. So now you see they are only 0.0, that means they are less than 0. So if I go to here and I want to update our guess number, I write here guess number is equal to guess number multiplied by 6. Now our guess number is generated from maximum 6. So if I click on guess, it will be 0.56. If I click on OK, 0.33, 0.27, 0.36, 0.17. So now that is to generated from at least 6. So see, we have a point value. So I go to here and write here guess number is equal to math guess number. I write here math dot floor. This is the best functions is used for to reduce and to overcome the points value or float value. So now if I save it and reload, so now you see this is 5, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, that is from 6 to 1 and have a math.floor functions that reduce or eliminates the points values. Now this is our value in a whole number, that is 5, 3, 4. So that is a function of random functions and we make it from at least 6 and we also make it math.floor that reduce the points value. So now our random number is here. So after this I have here of while loop. So before while loop we use here a number, a variable, called it, got it, and I like is equal to false. That is a boolean values. Boolean values are either true or either false. So I write here false and I write here while got it is equal to false. Now that's generate this number. So I write here at the end of this I make it closing here. So I simple use it and tab here, that is intended because all our this code is in while loop. That tells us all of this code is in while loop. So instead of this alert here I write simple here got it is equal to true, and else I simple not print anything here. If my number is equal to guess got it is equal to true, and we add one more things, that is the var variable, and I write here number of guesses, how many guesses that's generate a number, and I initialize it with 1. So after this I have a alert and I write here got it message, got it, and I write here plus for concatenation, and I write a number, I write here my number plus here, and then it took me 5 here plus, and I write here number of guesses, it took me number of guesses, and after this we have guesses, and in the else block I write here number of guesses increment. So if I save it and reload, and if I write here 4, that's got it, it was 4 and took me 6 guesses. Okay, so if I write here 6, so first I write here 3 and it got it, it took me 2 guesses, and I write here 1, got it, it took me 3 guesses. Now our number of guesses is here. If I write here 4 and it messages got it, it took me 4 and it took me 2 guesses, means it took 2 more times to find this 4. So that is a number of guesses. So if I write here 6, so now what's happened? Now our program is crashed and our browser is now stuck. So that is the error for if we have a specific number printed. So I restarted from here and I simple wait to this generate from scratch. So to handle this error, we use here a simple drop down menu. So that is the best way to use for these small 5 numbers. So instead of this type number, I simple close down here and I write here select and cut down this select here, and after this I have this select option, and in select options we have options for our values. Now our first option value is 1. I simple copy it and paste it 6 times, 1 2 3 4 5 and 1 6 1. That's actually start from 0 0 1 2 and the last one is 3. Also we have 4 and one more time, that is 5. That is total 6 number, and start from 0, that we have a 5 number. So if I save it and now I reload, so I exit the page and I simply reload it here. Now this is our drop down menu, and if I go to here and click on 1 then guess, then it got it 1, that the value is 1, and it takes me 28 guesses. That means our program is 28 time runs to find the value of 1, that is the random number guesses. So if I write here 5, if I take one guess, then it took me 3 guesses, and I took 2, then guess, and it got 3, and it took me 8 guesses. So that is the guesses program, and that is how to use while loop in these specific program. So we use here drop down menu, that is the best for our users to their ease. So simple summarize our programs here, and I simple drag the screen here. And first I tell you that first we make have an paragraph tag, that is our first 1 to 6 here. After this we have a select id instead of input to invent and from avoiding the errors that we have our input. So we have a select an id number, and our option is 5s, and then select and close and then buttons. So that is our HTML, that is very easy. After this we have a simple JavaScript here. First, we have a document.get element by ID, that is my btn ID of my button, and if I click on it, then our this function is generated. And in our this functions, we first initialize our my number, and we get the value of our input that we use here, and that is this our input, and we get the value of this. And after this, we have of variables, that is a var got it. We use it for our while loop, means if our variables have guesses true, then this is false, and if it gets to true, then it becomes true. So first our variable is false, that is our initialization is false, and our var guess number is math.number, and random number, that any random number. So now after this we have guess number updated with 6, because we have input number from 0 to 5, that is total 6 number. So after this I update one more time our variable and call it math.floor, that is used for to avoiding our points values, and our value is now in our whole number. After this, we check the condition. If my number that we have our input here, that is 0 to 5, is equal to a guess number, that here a guess number, that our value of any random number that generated by computers. So if it is true, then our got it variable, that is first false, we got it to true. After true, we have alert, and in alert, we have a simple double quotations, and I have a message got it. That same as at is printed. After this, we have a my number variable. That is my number, and my number is that we enter in our input tag. That print here. After this, we have this plus that is used for concatenation between our string and integer variables. So after this string, and I write here it took me, that is same at is it printed with spaces, and after this we have plus number and we have a number of guesses. Now our number of guesses is another variable that starts from 1 and it tells us how many guesses of our number. After this I write here guesses. Now this is our alert function. And in the else block, we have a number of guesses plus plus. That is our increment in number of guesses. For example, if our program runs and if our my number is not equals to this number, then this not code execute. Now our else block is execute and it took it to 2 because this is our initialize is 1 and one more 1 is added, that is 2. If our another program runs and our values is not equal to true, then also it goes to else block and our number is 3. That is printed its number increment. So after this, if our number is true, then it prints this, and now our number is any number of guesses that are increment here are printed here. So that is why it here, if I write here 3 and guess, now it has a got a 3. That is our my number, and it took me that is here, and number of guesses is 12 guesses because first 11 guesses it falls and it increments is here, and after this we have a 12 guesses is printing is here. So that is our simple programs and use of while loop. So here we end this lecture. Please like the video and subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching.